opportunities. The person sitting next to you, maybe the one to hold the treasure you have to come to discover. If you have the slightest difficulty in breaking the ice, you can count on me to break it for you. My role is not just to bring you together during these 2 days. My responsibility will be to be your very own serial connector. You probably have a clear idea of your expectations, but BioMarine is full of surprises. Be prepared for unexpected opportunities, ambitious ideas, and fruitful ventures. At BioMarine, you'll find that aquaculture can speak and connect with environment, but also with biomaterial and cosmetic. Whatever you bring to the table at BioMarine could be useful for any sector that is represented at the convention. If you came here with questions, I want you to leave with projects. If you came here with specific research, I want you to leave with contracts and perspective. The potential for improvement excites us each year, and we hope you will continue to join us in this adventure. Innovation is part of our DNA, and we make sure that BioMarine continues to evolve in the most organic way possible. This year, the WUVA is our user-friendly tool, which makes our connection a lot smoother. Thanks for their support. To my beloved sponsor, a special thank you, because without you, we wouldn't exist. 2016 will also bring new surprises. And tomorrow, at the end of the ceremony, we'll give you a glimpse of what to expect. Now, no more talking, and let's the show begin. Get ready to interact. And I will ask, Al Leach from MMI, the president, to come here and do the introduction for the panel. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Alfred Leach, President and Chief Strategy Officer for MMI, one of North Carolina's leading public relations and branding firms. It's my pleasure today to join Pierre and his colleagues and all of our distinguished speakers at BioMarine 2015. The state of North Carolina, its coastal communities, including our host city Wilmington, and the world-famous Research Triangle all have one thing in common: a history of innovation. My organization's had the privilege of working with thought leaders from startups and emerging growth companies across several industries to help introduce new technologies so that we can make a difference in the world. So it's indeed an honor for me to stand here today and introduce many of our presenters, each of whom are leaders in making important contributions to our world and to our industry. First, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Dr. Deborah Mosca, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Marine Biotechnologies Center for Innovation, headquartered at the Center for Marine Sciences in Wilmington, North Carolina. With more than 35 years of experience in biotech and pharma companies and nonprofit research institutions, Dr. Mosca is an expert in creating the business strategy to drive commercialization of marine biotechnologies from North Carolina's vast network of marine research institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Deborah Mosca.
Thank you, Al, for that warm introduction. And thanks to the BioMarine organizers for quite literally shining a spotlight on our international audience and highlighting North Carolina's marine bioassets. I would like to take this opportunity for myself and my colleague Randall Johnson to express how honored we were to be selected by the organizers of the 2015 BioMarine Business Convention to be the official partners here in Wilmington and to bring to this state an international group that is focused on developing those particular assets. We have worked tirelessly for the last 2 years to create the agenda that you see in your program, not just with the organizers, but with our colleagues across the region, the state, and internationally to make it an exciting event for all of you here today and through Wednesday. For those of you who were unable to attend the reception last night, we heard some very interesting remarks from Cecilia Holden, who's the Chief of Staff for the North Carolina Department of Commerce. And what I found most resonating was how many firsts there are for North Carolina. First in flight, most people know it's on our license plate. You'll see it on a lot of cars driving around town. But for me, more importantly, first to create a center, the North Carolina Biotechnology Center, more than 30 years ago, to capitalize on what was then an emerging field of research, biotechnology. And in that 30 years, as happens in any field of science, things grow. Things become very broad, become very diverse. And you need to now refocus some of those efforts in order to capitalize yet again on those resources. And 3 years ago, the center created the funds for the Marine Biotechnology Center of Innovation. And with that inception grant, MBCOI was formed. And in 3 years, we have focused on the assets in North Carolina. We have executed more than 80 agreements with various stakeholders, both in North Carolina and outside. And we are looking to execute even more agreements with some of our international partners here at this convention. In addition, we did an inventory of the assets and created a customized relational database with a controlled vocabulary that allows us to search for strengths and expertise and match that to our partners, hence making MBCOI a nexus for information, collaboration, and commercialization of marine biotechnology assets for the benefit of North Carolina's economy. I thank you for your attention. I hope you will have a great experience here, not just at the conference, but enjoy the sights, sounds, and tastes of North Carolina that we have to offer. And I want to thank all of our staff, our families, and our colleagues for supporting us over the last 2 years to make this event possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Our next speaker is Randall Johnson, Executive Director for the Biotech Center's Southeastern Office in North Carolina. Mr. Johnson is responsible for strengthening North Carolina's regional economy through economic development actions related to marine biotech, industrial biotech, renewable bioproducts, energy, clinical research, and agricultural biotech. Mr. Johnson was awarded the U.S. President's Volunteer Service Award, a national honor award recognizing lifelong commitment to volunteer service. His work with statewide partners led to the creation of North Carolina's Marine Biotechnology Center of Innovation. Please introduce Randall Johnson to you.
Good morning and welcome to Wilmington again. I see a lot of faces we saw last night at the reception. I hope you had a great time there. We certainly did ourselves, and we brought in some good weather, great band, and food for you. Hope you enjoyed that. So you know we enjoy living here. I think you can tell that. But this is also the right place to do business. You heard my president, Doug Edgerton, mention last night that biotech in North Carolina is a $74 billion industry, 600 companies, 60,000 employees, and that's from really long-term investment in this sector, starting 30 years ago, as Deb mentioned, and building over time, focusing on diverse sectors from all the way from the biopharma to agricultural biotech and marine biotech, where we have particular strengths here, and really started building in the 90s. Dan Baden at UNCW came to town 1999, I believe, and began really focusing the vision locally on marine biotech development. The state has continued to invest heavily in marine biotech, not only here in Wilmington, but in Carteret County and other places around the state. UNC Chapel Hill, NC State University, Duke University have all invested heavily in marine biotech. So UNCW recently, as many of you may know from attending the BIT tour yesterday, the Business and Innovation Tour, has invested heavily in a new commercialization building there. There's still space available, by the way, for a couple of companies if you're interested in locating there, but it is a unique space for North Carolina and for our area. I encourage you to learn more about that space, to talk to Dan Baden, Ron Vetter, the Chancellor, as you're here, to learn more about what we're doing there. There has always been, I think, a strong focus at UNCW on education and program development, unique programs like the Business of Marine Biotech program, as well as commercialization opportunities, and that's really what we're focused on here. So again, I encourage you to talk to the university representatives here, the companies that have spawned out of that university and out of that facility and out of the work over time there, and see if we can find some international collaboration opportunities. I'll mention too that the Biotech Center has invested heavily in marine biotech over time, with teacher workshops, teaching teachers how to create a spark with the next generation of scientists. That's been an important part of our program. We've invested in equipment at universities. We've invested in companies with loans, market studies to determine if a particular fish species was going to be well received in metro markets around the U.S. They were, so we need to produce more now. And we need the investment to be able to produce those fish, as well as investments in technology commercialization. UNCW received one of our first technology enhancement grants, and they continue to develop ideas that are funded by the Biotech Center and by other organizations. Deb has already mentioned the funding and investment in the Marine Biotech Center of Innovation. That was a many years long effort focused on developing this commercialization engine for North Carolina, focused on marine biotech. We were very fortunate to have Deb Mosca join us from California. She's fit right in here. She's hit the ground running. She's doing amazing work. I encourage you to connect with her at some point. Everyone in the room, connect with Deb and look at opportunities here in North Carolina and elsewhere where she has some sort of impact or influence. She can connect you with a lot of people who can help you out. I'll also mention too, Brunswick Community College just across the bridge has the first and only marine biotech degree in the community college system. So we have the workforce, we have the technology, we have the educational assets, we have the commercialization assets, as well as companies that are coming out of the universities and are locating here from other places. I think we have more and more companies that are realizing Wilmington's a great place to live and to work. So we're fortunate to have that kind of location for companies to do business. We are so glad that you're here with us. We're thrilled to have you here. It's going to be an exciting 2 days of exploring international opportunities and bringing those international opportunities home. We hope you enjoy your time in Wilmington and network, learn, partner, and enjoy yourselves. Thanks.